Hello, welcome. Today, I would like to talk about the parable of the three children. Let's imagine three children, an oldest, a middle, and a youngest, and two parents. The two parents go to the oldest child and say, "You are my special child. You are my most special child. You are my chosen child." Now, it's not as important as to why, but you could think that maybe, the parents wanted some extra help from the oldest child in helping raising the younger two children, and they need that child to be the most responsible. In order to help that child to be at his or her best, they would give them this type of praise. You are, in fact, the best. They are going to have a lot more work to do than the other two children. So now, let's live in two realities. Reality one is that oldest child never speaks of that conversation, never admits the conversation to his or her siblings, just does the work. Now, reality two, that oldest child did, in fact, admit the conversation to the siblings, and it is well known that this child was in fact chosen, or the parent's favorite child. So the question I would like to ask you is, in which reality do you think that house would be better? The reality where the child did not in fact mention that they were chosen by their parents as the best child, or reality two, where the oldest child in fact did mention that and possibly goes on repeating that? Well, I would hope this would be a bit of a no-brainer, right? So in reality two, I would think that reality would be one of jealousy and loathing. We could even say that if the younger siblings asked the parents and the parents denied that they said that, right? They saw the loathing and the jealousy going on, and now you have accusations of well, that never even took place. So all sorts of room for negativity in reality too. And I would have to ask, what is the benefit of mentioning that? And so I might, reasonably, you might say, well, the oldest child was trying to do his or her work and help the younger siblings, and they just weren't listening as younger siblings do. And so that oldest child might have said, "Look, I've been chosen. I'm the one, and you should listen to me." It might have not been out of like malice or pride to admit this thing, but just try and in all honesty, just say, "Hey, I'm just trying to do my job here. I think you should listen to me because I've been chosen." But that is unfortunately the negative repercussions of that are just I think quite apparent. Best intentions aside, or reasoning as to why the older child would admit that. In either case, it's not the right thing to do. In reality one, the older child uses his or her actions to convey that they are in fact chosen. They set the standard. They're beyond reproach because they're always doing the right thing, even when nobody's looking. They're doing the right thing. They're not putting on a front or a show in any way. So this is a parable of the three children, and it's to illustrate a point as to what is going on with certain groups of people, religions, or just groups of people or otherwise, who are claiming, obviously they're chosen by God, they're God's chosen, and it's not just one religion. So if, you're going to claim that, I'm making this to go against one religion. I mean, most religions claim that they're the one true religion. I mean, I can make an argument that they're in that claim they're in fact claiming to be God's chosen. But many religions come out and just out and out say they're God's chosen, they're God's children, they're God's people, etc., etc., etc. Now, all intentions of why this happened, and maybe it did happen for good intentions, and it doesn't really matter. At the end of the day, we can't have it. What God says to you and reveals to you, or a group of people, it's a covenant between you and God, and that is special and sacred, and that stays between you and God. When you let that out, it only brings jealousy and hatred, envy, mistrust. Did it even happen? You're just making this claim. You're just making this up. It just sounds too wild, and people are only going to hate you for it. And it's a lot of what's causing a lot of pain and suffering in the world is because we have this going on through to today. And so if you're a part of the group who's making this claim, so this would be directed at, if you're a person making this claim, if you're part of religion, then stop. That one's easy. Just stop doing that. Stop making that claim. But what we really need is the religious leaders to step forward and say, look, we are not God's chosen. We are, we're all equal in the eyes of the Lord, and that's that. Now, I'm not asking you to, disobey God in any way or disavow God in any way. What did happen between, you and God, or your people and God, is still special, and that can never be undone. But it's, at the end of the day, it's between you and God. So letting it out is unfortunately not the right thing to do. And it's just one of the things that we're going to need to happen in order to make the world a better place, in order to get people to come together. How can you, like, if you're of a religion, we'll say, who's claiming you're chosen by God, well, how does that, a little bit of empathy, how does that make other people feel? Well, they're not. They're part of another religion. Maybe they were born in another part of the world, and they're, the religion of their parents. Well, are they lesser? Should they be made to feel lesser? Should they maybe get down on their hands and knees and praise you because you were so chosen? Is that what you'd like? Think about that, and think about, this parable that you can use as a very real, I think, reasonable and rational couple of realities that we can see where this way of thinking, it just doesn't help in any way. And so we need to stop it.